Yo, what's happening, guys? And I just want to talk about the problems that I find that will make me not play Dragonflight, and that is mainly because my main, the Red Paladin, is pretty much Shadowlands, but kind of like a worse version in most cases, except maybe one build, but it's the same shit. So let's be real. If you didn't like Shadowlands Red Paladin, you can just click off this video right now. It's gonna be useless to you. You are literally playing Shadowlands Paladin. Like it's not even, you know. Now, so I have a few points here to talk about with Red Paladin. We're only gonna go mostly over the talents because that's pretty much the juice of it. Everything else doesn't really matter. After trying different builds, I have 3 different builds. Only 2 of them are viable. Exec Sentence is extremely not a viable build. So don't even worry about that. There are only really 2 viable builds that do approximately the same amount of DPS. Even though Crusade currently is, I would say, about 10%-ish stronger. Mainly for single target, but honestly, even AoE, it's very, very strong. Now, biggest issue, why is Red Paladin still shit as it was? It's still immobile. There's absolutely no reason to play Red Paladin if you don't want to be a wheelchair class. The only good thing that they added as far as mobility, and it's not even mobility, is this talent, which gives you extra 3 yards to your abilities, basically. It's like, okay, so I don't have to be straight up in melee again to hit somebody, but there's no way for you to catch people. Divine Seed is still the dog shit that it was. And honestly, my biggest pet peeve with talents is, why even give us the choice to choose these where you technically have to choose these anyways? You have to take Lay on Hands. Might as well just make it like Hammer of Wrath and just like make it something that is already picked for you. Same with here. You have to choose these 3 talents. There's no way around it. Like, just why even waste the point on this? It's like, it's not a choice. Like, what's the point? Anyways, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so anyways, there's basically 2 builds for Red Paladin. One focuses on Crusade. Okay, with Crusade and with this talent, Zealot's Paragon, you can actually get approximately 1 minute, anywhere between 50 seconds to 1 minute. I heard some people get like 1 minute 20 of wings, which is great. And you can undo with Crusade because of the insane amount of haste you're getting. But that also makes it mandatory to have Zealot's Paragon. And also, it doesn't work with Sanctified Wrath, so it doesn't matter, you might as well. As far as these talents go, you can technically switch to Virtuous Command and Final Reckoning. I found Final Verdict to do just way more damage. This is literally the difference. Between this and this, I do about 5 to 10% more damage with this. So I might as well just stick with this, mainly because of Vanguard's Momentum, which increases the holy power damage, the holy damage I deal. And this basically, you will keep it on at all times, as well as having Dusk and Dawn and Seal of Order, which is pretty much another 10% increase in damage throughout time. Consecration shit. Honestly, if you see Consecration anywhere, just ignore it. Just click off of it. Consecration does absolutely nothing. Unless you have to take it because it's just better than the other option, it's dog shit. Consecration is pretty bad. There's absolutely... The only way, in my opinion, that you can make borderline useful, right? You would have to increase the damage maybe by 2 times, but honestly, the most important thing is give a talent that Consecration follows the Paladin, because right now it is impossible to use Sanctify. Enemies hit by Divine Storm take 100% more damage from Consecration for 8 seconds. This would be good. The only problem is most of the mobs that I've been fighting, and again, only Heroic is available, so but even Mythic Plus, knowing how the dungeons work, there's gonna be a lot of movement throughout. There's a lot of shit on the ground. The mobs always like either do Blade Storm, throw stuff on the ground that you have to move out of. The mobs will be moving a lot because the tank will have to move a lot. So you're never going to have Consecration substantially long enough on mobs to actually make it work. Okay. Even tried giving Consecrated Blade a try. So it's like you can get double the Consecration and using Sanctification. By the way, I don't know why this build has it. It saved it wrong, but whatever. So using Sanctification, which is supposed to give you 1 holy power throughout your Consecration, honestly, on 1 target, you get a 50-50 chance that you get a holy power. On 4 targets, you usually get 1 holy power per Consecration. You might as well go with Inner Grace, which is at 100% you get a holy power. Also, when kiting and you can't do damage, you get a holy power regardless. So again, Sanctification, pretty much dead talent. Consecrated Blade, pretty much dead talent. Sanctified, dead talent. All of this side is a dead talent. Are dead talents, okay? The other build that I said is viable is the Sanctified Wrath build. Let me see that. So, problem with Sanctified Wrath is it's great on paper. It's a lot of consistent damage. But again, you just don't get wings for long enough. You do have a bit more range damage with Exorcism. But again, it does fall short. It doesn't feel as good compared to the Crusade. Your options here, you can actually spec out of Final Reckoning and go for Final Verdict. It's not as good. Final Reckoning just helps you a lot more, especially the passive actually procs really, really often overall. I see it proc a lot. But overall, it doesn't really... It's a good spec, just not as good as Crusade overall. Might be better for AoE, but honestly, not substantially. So I wouldn't even bother with that. Crusade currently is the only build. And honestly, if they make Crusade work with Sanctified Wrath, it would by far be the best spec currently and also the most fun. But it's as fun as Crusade goes. It's just a lot of haste. The only good thing, it lasts for about a minute. I haven't seen what the set bonuses are right now. Maybe it changes something with how it works. But as it is right now, I would just go with Crusade. Okay. Now, obviously, yeah, subject to sim and subject to changes. This is the beta and stuff like that. Anyways, BOJ is a completely dead waste of talents, as I mentioned before. And the other big waste of talent is Execution Sentence. Now, explain to me, Execution Sentence is something you really don't use in PvP. However, here you are kind of forced to use it in PvP because your PvP talents that have to do with slow, right? So here you go. You have Consecrated Ground, which reduces movement speed of people inside it, or that you can't be slowed more than 80% to have less than 80% movement is here, which you have to take, or Hand of Set Hindrance, you have to take. There's no going, you can't not do it for PvP. So basically what this means is, in order to get Execution Sentence, you have to take talents that will not help you in PvE at all. I mean, maybe you can use this if you want to slow mobs for the tank, but honestly, never really the case, right? So you're not dropping Consecration for slow, you're just popping fucking Divine Storms, okay? Like, it's not gonna happen. Okay, so again, very bad idea to put these on this side. I don't know, whoever designs Paladin either doesn't play it or just hates them, but these talents have no business being here. Okay, the only talents you're gonna take for, for PvP are actually here, which is the Final Verdict, Vanguard Momentum, and probably Final Reckoning. I doubt you will take Divine Toll, because Divine Toll only shoots 1 Judgment now. It's not like Shadowlands Divine Toll. So this is great for AoE, but single target, if you're just fighting like boss, I would probably go with these two. As well as PvP, you would go with these two. The problem with, if you want to go Execution Sentence at any point, the problem is how you get to it is very not beneficial point-wise. You're actually probably losing a lot of good talents. So again, pretty bad design overall. Also, Ashes to Ashes is a fantastic talent. It's really hard to not take this talent. Right. It's like the only thing I can add here, I can do this. Boom. If I wanna, if this is for AoE. Okay. Let's see. What else I want to talk about? Ooh. Okay, so talents are shit. Well, yeah, they're pretty much shit. None in, like, they don't bring anything new to the table. I never liked the new talent system because all it does is teaches you the old shit that you already knew, but now you have to spec into it, which is like so dumb. Okay. One great thing they added is the Ashes to Dust, which Art of War can has a chance to recharge your Ashes, Wake of Ashes. That's good. Other than that, though, yeah. Also, Radiant Decree, I don't see ever a point where you use this. Compared to this, which you get pretty much on maybe a 20-second cooldown. Honestly, I had Wake of Ashes available almost like every 10 seconds with Crusade because of how fast you attack, and Art of War just recharges. Obviously, there's a limit per minute for Art of War, but still. Radiant Decree is just completely useless. It offers a slow, but honestly, meh, you know? I don't see it ever being used, especially PvP where you already can barely generate holy power. You would need Ashes to Dust by like 99% of the time, I would say. As far as dots go, you can do Exorcism, you can take dot on Expurgent for crit. If you really want to try a dot, like let's say you're playing against Rogue or Druid and they keep going stealthy, dots will probably stop them from going stealthy, but there's also a helmet, honestly, that helps you with that, which like whenever you're attacked, you put a dot on whoever attacked you, like by melee. It's like there are other ways to deal with it. Honestly, nothing new here. You're not gonna. The dot damage is negligible. It's not a big deal. As far as these talents go, the only one cool talent that I've seen that can change your playstyle in a sense, not even change, just like add something to your playstyle, you can use your Shield of Vengeance a lot more aggressively with Recompense. Recompense basically whenever you put Blessing of Sacrifice, so you put on the tank and then you pop your Shield of Vengeance, the tank will take damage, so you will take damage, Shield of Vengeance explodes, and whenever the effect ends, your what's it called? Your Judgment does 50% more damage or something like that. Or 50% more of the damage. So Judgment damage plus 50% of the damage that you took during sacrifice. So your Judgment, the one time, can be a lot stronger, but it can also ricochet. So if it chains, it will actually do, I believe the chain still does the extra damage. Very hard to test this because people just run through the content right now. So it's really hard to get a group where you can just test things. The heroics are just a joke, basically. So yeah, pretty much all I have to say about that. All in all, I would say like this. If you didn't like Red Paladin in Shadowlands, or if Red Paladin didn't keep you in the game during Shadowlands, I don't think you're gonna enjoy Red Paladin overall. It doesn't bring anything new and cool to the table. They are really adamant about making Red Paladin not mobile. Heck, I can't play any other class, and even I'm considering like, yo, maybe I should just give Druid or Warlock a try, because clearly whoever's like designing Paladin doesn't know the F they're doing, or just doesn't want Paladin to be good. As far as damage goes, it's really hard for me to tell if DPS wise we are top tier or bottom tier. I don't think there's enough sims, there's not enough of a pool to check, and doing heroics doesn't count. I can be the top of the DPS, but I don't know who I'm playing with. Some people have 392 gear. I have 388 currently. Some people have 392. Some people come with 366. It's like, I don't know if I'm doing more damage than others, right? So I can't tell you right now if we're doing more damage. All I can say is the playstyle, you're practically you're basically playing Shadowlands, and in most cases, unless you're going Crusade, anything that is not Crusade build, you're literally playing a scuffed Shadowlands version of Paladin. The only time that you're playing something that is slightly better feel than Shadowlands would be a Crusade build. So, Paladin will not be bringing me back to Dragonflight. That's for sure. But yeah. Anyways, that's the video. That's my rant. Paladin still sucks. And, well, again, in my humble opinion, I'm sure there's like people who are like, Paladin is in such a good place, it feels good. Yes, I get it. You enjoy the Paladin playstyle in Shadowlands. But you know what? A lot of classes kind of got a change to their feel every expansion. Paladin has been the same since basically Legion. So it's literally like a remodeled Legion Paladin every expansion. Whatever their vision is for Paladin has been shit since WoD. WoD was probably like my peak performance for Paladin, like how much fun it is. And ever since then it dropped. Was Legion okay? It was, because it was new and different, but everyone complained about mobility and we're still immobile as fuck. I don't know why they changed the vision. Don't ask me. Go to the forums and tell them they don't know what the fuck they're doing, because Paladin being so immobile is just not a good feeling. You still won't be able to reach your targets in PvP. Then that's that. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.